There's a problem, however. The problem for the physicalist, however, is that it's really, really hard to make an account of emotions, right? And the question is, and I've actually written on this part, is what I was interested in when I first heard this was, well, since physicalism has this problem, since we know how good the benefit is, right? Causal interaction, causal relationship is a huge benefit, but there's a huge deterrent, and that's emotions, right? Can you reduce emotions to brain states, right? Can you reduce emotions to a mental state, right? Some people say immediately, yes. Yeah, of course you can reduce emotions, happiness, sadness to pharmacological mental states. The proof is in the pudding, though. It's a lot more difficult to prove that happiness can be pharmacologically reproduced because, for example, one of the retorts to this claim is that Michael Jordan has a particular expertise in playing basketball. And his brain is wired in such a way that he knows how to shoot the ball, he knows the distance, his brain is wired to play basketball. He's very good at that act. So there's a particular physical state, there's a particular mental state that he has, wherein his neurobiology is wired in such a way that he makes him an amazing basketball player. Well, if that's the case, since I'm a human being just like he is, I should be able to reproduce his pharmacological state such that I can have, imagine you could make a pill, right? Play basketball like Michael Jordan, I pop that pill, it wires my brain, it constructs my brain in such a way that it maps onto Michael Jordan's sort of pattern, brain pattern, and I should be able to have exactly the same skill, which I have no skill. I should be able to have exactly the same basketball talent as he has. Well, that becomes a little bit more sci-fi, right? That becomes a little bit, that it loses its touch with, it sounds good, it might be able to happen in the future, but as of right now, it is a bit science fiction, right? So there is a benefit, a huge benefit, but there's also a huge deterrent to materialism. So the materialist would say that I reject all of the arguments that suggest that what exists in the world is mine. For those who argue that all that exists in the world is mine, they're known as idealists. Right? They're known as idealists. So what the idealists do is that the idealists make the following claim. They say all of existence, the entirety of existence, is a consequence of our ideas, right? The entirety of existence is a consequence. It's composed of ideas, right? So that existence is composed of ideas. Composed of ideas. Okay. The benefit to the idealist notion is that you can account for variations in perception, right? And you do this by making sense of subjectivity. Subjectivity becomes heightened in idealism, not in all cases, right? To the point of even a Berkeleyan sort of subjectivity, which is technically known as subjective idealism, right? Which is the idea that there is no external world at all. All of existence is a composition of the mind. You don't have to go as far as Berkeley did to be an idealist, right? That's the most, subjective idealism is the extreme end of idealism. You do have idealists who recognize that there are external things in the world, and it's not that they're denying the existence of the external world, but what the idealist is saying is that now this is epistemology, right? There's a distinction between metaphysics and epistemology. My ability to know epistemologically the existence of external things is impossible without sort of the way that I frame things, right? My subjectivity, my embodiment, my particular embodiment is going to be a huge factor in interpreting the world, right? My experiences, my existence, my being is going to be a huge factor in making a distinction in how I make sense of the world. The problem, however, with idealism, unlike with materialism, is that the idealists can't really give a good account for causation, right? For interaction between physical things. How do I make a claim that my mind affected the world? Because Princess Elizabeth of Bohemia, as we've already seen, has shown that it's ridiculous to talk about an immaterial, non-extended thing affecting something which is material extended, right? It doesn't work. So how do we make sense of this? The idealists struggle with that problem. Okay, with that being said, this was sort of a crash course in Descartes. It was more of an introduction than anything else. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that it was informative. That was the point. And I hope that I also made sense of both Cartesian dualism and the separation between physicalism and materialism on one hand and idealism on the other. With that being said, I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell. Appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Thank you and have a good day.